best thing to do is to be you, to truly live free. If you can't do that, what do you have to say for yourself? What can you really tell me? I'm exploring more of my hometown. I have an e-bike, so I just ride around on it and just go to all the nooks and crannies of my town. Old places. Places I haven't been for many years. Each place, a set of memories which leads inexorably to this moment. The present moment, the greatest present there is. In fact, the only present there is. For all gifts are only held within the now. All else is illusory. That is the true matrix. That anything beyond your current moment, current present moment, current present now, is an illusion. Something to give you pain from everything that could be, if only you would absorb fully that which is in the moment. The fates can be cruel, yes. They are cruel as well. We all have our reasons. Some of us don't even have excuses. And yet, the pain goes on, the pain multiplies, the pain reaches for an infinite summit. That, to me, is the essence of Lucifer energy. It is the light that is God, part of God, but considers itself separate and its own eternal entity above all others. And that energy must rule over others, deceive them, to achieve your ends. Because in the end, you are not the all-powerful. You're only a part. And that is the great lesson of reality. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what world or what time, we all are here to learn the same thing. So long as it's in the physical, sure, there's other totally different dimensions where the rules don't apply here, boy. Far beyond your comprehension, and then further beyond that too. You feel me? It is a gift. It's a gift. It's a great, great gift. Every moment. Of every day. I mean, look at me. I'm on a basketball court. There's deer. Just chilling. Just chilling. Like a villain. Casino Royale. Just a moment. Still have to collect. No bounty. It's precious. And a lot of us are wasting it away in square boxes with a black mirror in the corner of it, usually taking up a large percentage of the wall space, a large percentage of everything, all the intention of the space, because it has become our messiah. It's become our fucking source for inspiration, for knowledge, for everything that is. Comes from that godforsaken black mirror. That godforsaken tool of the devil himself, because, and I just had a funny thought, like, how come women are never, upset with the devil always being a him? It's like, oh, that's totally acceptable when you say God's a man. Oh, nope, can't be. And then, now, of course, genders don't even exist. Nothing's real. Just give in. Just put your head on the block, the butcher's block, and get cut. Get cut deep and quick, all the way through. Don't worry about this. We perfected the technology long ago. You got the newest though. The best. Trust me. Just sign on the dotted line, and even if you don't sign, it's okay. We got you covered, boy. We have all contingencies planned out except the most important one. And that is, evil cannot win in the end. And I don't say that to be self-defeating, because I know how that can be interpreted. I'm just saying that if evil were to quote-unquote win, that would be a truly eternal dark place. That would be the worst place imaginable. A place where evil has won, has captured that dimension. Can you imagine the whole reaches of our universe, even if it's just Earth, totally under totalitarian boot? Just, there's nothing good left in the world. All the good feelings are actually bad feelings too, and more so. You have to imagine it for just a moment, and then realize that the world can become that way, and it is going in that direction much more quickly than most people would ever believe. However, I do see them losing. But even in our victory, we have lost a great part of ourselves. But that part is ready to die. That part is ready to sacrifice itself for what's real, for what is. Because let's face it, we all got to grow up. We have to get out of childhood. And right now, almost all the cultural, realities that they've fabricated over the aeons is just fucking lies, dude. And the histories that they've told, they've spun with fucking needle and thread and fucking shoved down people's throat and exterminate anybody who disagreed strongly enough. After all that business, fucking here we are today, And most people, after so many thousands of years, have just been like, it's epigenetics. I keep saying this. Epigenetics. That's what it is. What your parents were good at, if you choose to do that too, you will be better than them. You will it'll be written in their DNA. It's like coding. You know how every 7 years you get a new body, cell by cell? Well, every 7 years, if you're doing things better, it's like it's programmed into your body. It's a resonance field. It's a code. They share. It goes back and forth. We're a colony creature in a colony universe, in a colony of dimensions, in a colony of fucking, polarities. In an infinite, rotating, spinning, gyrating, orbital platform of energy that just has no limit, has no beginning, has no end. Because it exists as an idea in the thought of an idea within an infinity, wrapped in a conundrum. And if you understood even a tenth of that, you will still know nothing of what I am referring to, which I myself do not know either, because no human can hold that much, retain it. It's just, it's kept from us for a reason, okay? It's just too much. It's too much of the story at once. We can't give you all the cheat codes to the game, you know? Then you just be shooting 3-pointers no matter where you are on the court at all times. It's like it's self-defeating. We only learn through the not knowing and going anyways. We only succeed in doing right by knowing what we shouldn't do. It's in the negatives of things that we succeed. By knowing what not to do, by knowing, what outcomes not to generate through our actions, through our intentions, through all the different ways in which we engage with reality that we sustain together as a shared hallucination, which we call name it, Earth, reality. A lot of different things people could call it. In the end, I believe the universe is heading into its ultimate form of complexity, at which it will reach like a Godhead moment. It's like every soul reaches a certain level. It reaches from the lowest base consciousness to the ultimate, and then it's completed its cycle and it returns. Well, the universe does the same thing. It reaches its greatest point of potential and then just unifies and back into the Godhead, because at that point it's already become all, been all, seen all, done all, They repeated one of those. In any case, the point is, after that, it'll get bored of being the unity again and then disperse into infinity base to grow back again, starting from the bottom and going to the top and back down again in an internal loop. And there is no limit to the scale because it's that infinite, There's so many... The amount of variation is beyond comprehension. It's beyond limit. And why not? Why should there be a limit? How could you truly have an end to anything? Because once you go to the end of one thing, what's beyond that? If this is the last thing you're saying that exists, then what's beyond all that? Absolutely nothing. How could you possibly know that? You couldn't. You'd only have to assume that because it's infinite that there's more, that this is not the end. It would be the only thing that you could you'd have to assume it, that that's the case. Instead of assuming that it's absolutely empty and then having any reason to go out there at all, to explore, to prove yourself wrong. You have to assume that there's something out there and then look for it. That is part of the scientific method. That is part of deduction, reasoning, logic. The forgotten arts of the once free. Because they read books, because they had their liberty, because they read. To read, liberty, same word as freedom in Latin. There's so much hidden within our languages that gives us the clues. Tells us what's really going on. Symbols and sigils and hieroglyphs, icons from ages past that tell a story. It's linked to another story and another story and another story and another story, infinitely ad infinitum, double infinity, times 3, times 6, 3 and 6, 9, and then plus 1. If you did a little gematria there, then you'd know. Evil will try to convince you that there's no good left in the world, that it's all coming apart at the seams, and that we should hate each other, that we should fight each other to the death, and that everybody's the enemy, and that no one's safe, and that it's just the most horrible place in the universe. And sure, you can believe that. And if enough people believe that, the world doesn't have long to live, and that's what people are being pushed to believe. That everyone is the enemy, including themselves. You have the disease. Stay 6 feet away from everybody. Don't look anybody in the eye. All the different things they've done to dehumanize the world. All at once, the greatest conspiracy ever, because it is almost every nation doing it. It is the true sign of how far we've come in the global program for world domination to a singular, unified government agency known as the One World Government, World Health Organization, United Nations Pact. Whatever happens to me in this life, I just wonder, based on everything that I've done and continue to do, where I'm going to be sent next. And I know that's a terrible thing to think, to wonder. What does it matter? Stay present, stay now. We'll leave it for another time, for another version of myself in another dimension. One where this is a very different world. A world in which humanity was never poisoned from the get-go. And they fucking reached to the infinite stretches of time and space long ago. Long ago. Ages ago. Imagine a humanity united as one 400 or more thousand years ago. Where would we be today? Do you really think it would look like any of this? Any of this? Of course we can't know, but assuming that we didn't blow up or from some catastrophe, or that we ourselves drew because we had so much better technology and we went across the stars and then aliens invaded us because, some planetary dispute. Putting all that aside, if we had survived and basically the same level of planetary safety, where would we be? Where are we now? Would you say that the Earth 2022 and the human race is in a good spot, that it couldn't have been better? That is it a little odd that the human race is just so embroiled in hatred and war constantly, more than any other species on the planet by far, by a margin so wide that it would astonish anyone, even people who don't like humanity in general? Humanity in general. What does it say? What can it say? What's the limit of what you want to set? To frame this conversation, how will I frame it? Well, we could talk about the moon being hollow, ringing like a bell when they hit it with missiles some years back. Them being hella afraid of it and fucking all the bullshit that NASA pulls. I'm not a flat earther or anything like that, but that fucking orb right there, I don't know if you can see it, I'm pretty sure you can. It's a real odd duck. Never ever changes its side. Geostationary orbit. 1/400th, is it 1/400th the size of Earth? And it's 400 something else, 400. It's got these perfect proportions that are totally unreal. Just all these oddities about it. NASA's like, oh yeah, we lost the technology to go to the moon. It'd be so funny, like how much that you hear on the radio or on television or internet, how much of it's really real. Like, at this point, if they really have that much control over everything, how much could you really depend on to be real? And especially knowing that the powers that shouldn't be now and have been for many, many ages, how long they've been at it, considering all that, all the different ways they could have fucked shit up, totally erased history, made it something that it wasn't. Even in their little area before they did it to the world, before anybody got the real story. The lies run deep because shit goes down. People do crazy shit, and then they have to bury it. They can't let it come out. They did something unspeakable, and now any witnesses have to go because what, my life is too important, or I'm too afraid to let that happen. So it's down to murder, baby, down to murder. Nuh-uh. Fuck that, son. That's why coming to a spiritual awakening is so important, because then you realize that the physical isn't the end, and that there's more. And I can't really be totally specific about it because I don't know, but I know at least that. And so once you know that, then a huge amount of your fear of death and all this bullshit and the fear tactics that they use on us is diminished to a different level, a more manageable level. And then you can move better in the world, and you can inspire other people towards true faith in a beyond, at least. And that also is matched with responsibility for one's actions, and that should be taken as the grain of salt with that equation. Because if you don't know that you're going to be held responsible, then you may be prone to making decisions you wouldn't otherwise. And that's like the conscience, just knowing that your actions have great and powerful consequences. And what a beauty that is, to be that responsible for everything, to be that integral, to what's going on, to what will happen, to be a key in the lock of history. And again, back to the reason that's so important in regards to being in the present moment and being in the now. Are you in the now? No. Are you in the now? Are you in the now now? Are you in the now now? Are you in the now now? Dun-na, na-na, na-na. Are you in the now now? Dun-na, na-na, na-na. Are you in the now now? Are you though? Are you though? How much of your body can you feel? You do these checks with yourself where you try to do a series of tasks in which you have perfect, seamless motion, where you waste the least amount of energy. Okay, so perfect, seamless, whatever. Just try to do things where you conserve and use the least amount of energy with the best amount of result. And just being really precise and fluid, not like robotic. And then getting into it, really feeling yourself move, feeling the world as a dance partner. Seeing the world, knowing the world, being in the world as a friend to the world. You feel me? I think you do.